Good morning. Welcome back. This is rumble.com/JJW, where we talk about news and politics and culture and pop culture and stuff in the media and stuff happening in your world, stuff that's just it's gonna make your day better. Just to talk about it. Get it out of your system. Just acknowledge that this is the we live in the best world. Just the absolute best. There's people that think this is a simulation. Well, if this is a simulation, this is the best simulation that could be. I don't believe that, but I think we live in the best of all possible worlds. Although Voltaire was probably like more of a socialist. Um, Welcome back every morning. I don't know where Deacon is. He'll be here in a minute, I'm sure. How are you? What is going on? Let me find my thing. I can't even wait to talk about today's stories. So great. So great. Man, I've been working hard, and yesterday was just mentally clobbering. Mentally clobbering. I'm rebuilding all of our code at the office from the ground up, from the very lowest libraries up to some of our products. And I'm always a little bit like iffy about this because I adapted all of this stuff to this new procedures, and I'm building these things, and I'm like, well, I'm not sure they're 100% going to work. Well, I hand them over to release management, and he tests them, and they're working like just as expected, which is great for me. Deacon's on his way; he'll be here in a minute. I don't even want to start without Deacon. I like to have him here. But I mean, I'm going through these major projects that are, some of them are 20 years old, and I'm adapting them to be used with continuous integration and just building these old stuff. But I did like I went as I was going through probably 6 projects yesterday, I found a problem, and I went and I talked to my lead developer. And he was like, well, we'll just have to see if it comes up. And I'm like, no, we're going to fix this right now. This is obviously a problem. We have to fix it right now. We fixed it, and I went back to the start and built again and again and again, built all the libraries and started building some of the binaries and stuff. This is why nobody wants me to talk about my job. Nobody cares about code. Well, I know, but this is what I have to deal with. So it's very sad. It's grueling to make sure that everything is in exactly the right place and there's like no problems. But it's like mentally draining, and it can make you just as tired as like real work. But I know that it's not real work. I know that my job is not real work. Let's see. Before we get into today's awesome stories, what should we? I'm going to talk about this. Deacon may want to talk about this too. We'll see. He'll be here in a minute. Arizona City cuts the water off to their neighbors. What a giant dick move this is. Let's pull it up. So I'm pretty sure they're in a drought right now. Our water tanks will be dry within days. Arizona City cuts off water to neighbors amid drought as desperate residents demand water now and countdown until dwindling supply runs out. On January 1st, Scottsdale, Arizona stopped selling water to the neighboring area of Rio Verde foothills, eliminating the water source for 1,000 people. Last week, residents of the foothills sued Scottsdale for cutting off a utility that as families struggle to procure water to power their lives. Water in Arizona has been a major socio-political issue for years as authorities and communities understand the reality that Lake Mead is drying up. So there's a map picture down here. So there's, I don't know which one of these kind of comes from the Colorado River, but Scottsdale, Arizona, right here, they had this entire kind of block of real estate, and then this little Rio Verde place right over here, and then there's just mountains and stuff, I guess. Well, I mean, and all of this is in the desert, so if these guys won't provide water to Rio Verde, what are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. this is democracy in action. Oh, we vote, you don't get any water. Residents of Rio Verde foothills are going to extreme and uncomfortable measures to procure water as they count days until the supply runs out. The city stopped selling water to the unincorporated neighborhood. See, they're not part of that. Oh, you're not part of our incorporated neighborhood. Scottsdale has blamed the ongoing drought for its decision to shut off tap water for its neighbors. I mean, oh my God. Can you just imagine, like, yeah, things are pretty bad. So, you can just, I don't know, die. That's what Scottsdale says. Where else are they supposed to get water? The city says it can no longer afford to sell water to its neighbors and must concentrate instead on conserving water for its own residences. That critical decision has left between 500 and 700 homes, roughly 1,000 people, many of whom operate businesses and send their children to school within Scottsdale city limits, without a dependable source of water. Residents of the area's many $500,000 McMansions, stucco homes, and ranches are desperately searching for a solution to this very serious problem. So I guess Rio Verde is like a, uppity area. But, uppity people need to drink water too. Homeowners say their count days. It's dire, said Cody Rame, who says his monthly water bill will now skyrocket to $1,000 a month. That's crazy. We need water now. We can't wait a week. We can't wait a day. This shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't go 10 days without water. You could die in 10 days without water. Hey, you ready, Deke? You coming in? Come on in, Deacon. Hey, Deacon. Good morning, sir. How are you? Stranger danger.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just going to ignore it.
So Scottsdale, Arizona was
I don't care.
we're running.
You're good.
Don't care.
I listened to some of it and I was just like, oh, whatever. You don't have to. You don't have to revamp from my account.
People are dying. People could die.
Die every day, every second.
Wow.
I know.
So you would happily live in Scottsdale.
No, I wouldn't, because it's a fucking desert and you can't grow and fucking have water in a desert. So I wouldn't live in a fucking desert. But that's just me. I mean,
good point. That's a good point. That's very, very good.
That's what I always wondered about. It's like that old Sam Kinison joke. It's an old Sam Kinison joke is what it is. He's talking about all the people in Iraq and Saudi Arabia. And he's like, it's a fucking desert. It's a desert. Move to where you can grow farmland. It's where their farmland is, where you can grow crops. So yeah, that's what it is. I'll be right back.
I mean, even if you could devise some sort of a still suit, I still wouldn't want to live there. Recycle your body water and all of that. No way. I'm sure it's pretty, but it is a desert. It is a desert. I guess that's why the McMansions are so cheap. Okay. Let's see what else we've got today. Actually, I'll give Deacon a second to talk on the radio. What do you guys think? Would you live in Arizona? Would you vote to just turn your water off for your neighbors?
No, I was there a second ago. I was just being an asshole.
No.
Yeah, I Ashley's from Arizona.
Oh,
yeah.
So have you been out there to visit family?
No, she has. No, I'm not making. I don't fly. I hate.
What's that, like 700 miles, 1,000 miles?
And the last time they drove, and I'm like, no, I'm not driving that, because it takes 7 days just to get across Texas alone, and I'm not doing that.
Hey, you can get across Texas.
I hate this morning so far, dude.
I'm sorry, bud. Maybe when you answer the phone, you should just tell them it's a donut shop.
They hung up.
You just be like, Johnny's Donuts.
You don't know how many times I get. I bet 5 out of 10 calls are either hang-ups or not scam calls, but where our
robocalls.
Yeah. So I've messed with them over the years. I'll usually turn on my recorder and mess with them. I had this one guy, I told him that I had been kidnapped getting groceries. and I was trapped in a room. I had woke up and I was trapped in a room with all these things, and it had a broken telephone receiver. So I had been
Uh-huh.
working on it for several days, and I had got it to where it would have a dial tone, but it didn't have buttons. And so I couldn't call out, and I have been desperately waiting for someone to call me. Can you please call the authorities and help me? I've been kidnapped. And he fucking hung up on me. He hung up on me.
Oh man, you should
My
have got that
favorite
on tape
My
though.
I did.
That's
I recorded it. It was on
good
my video
story.
station. My favorite one to do that I always did was I would be like, "Congratulations, you are caller number 45. If you can give me the phrase that pays, we're going to give you an all-expense world tour on Disney Cruise Lines, and you will go across the world with $10,000 cash if you can just give me the phrase that pays." And they couldn't give me the phrase that pays every time.
Was there a phrase that pays?
No, there's no phrase
There
that
was no
pays. It's just some stupid
pretty
radio
please.
shit from the 80s.
Pretty please.
Pretty please. No, I'm sorry. Next caller is what I do every time and hang up on them.
You're
No,
caller
that's not the
45.
next caller.
If you can get it back in here and be caller number 50, that might be you. And then everybody's
I
caller
love
45.
messing with telemarketers when I'm in the mood. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to mess with telemarketers.
Nice.
I
That's
forgot
fun.
about those. Those are great. I bet I still got those recorded somewhere on an old flash drive somewhere. Do you still use flash drives?
I actually
still
do.
use these?
Yeah, I do. I
I
use
do
them. I
too.
have like a 16 gig one, and I format it to update Windows, and I go around my office sometimes and update Windows, especially if it's like a really really old
Okay,
machine.
these are my two 8s. I've got a 64 around here somewhere. I back up the 64. It's probably in that. The 64, I back up my phone. Like every 6 months, I'll plug it in to this other
Really?
computer here, and then I'll plug my phone into the computer, and then I move my photos over. All the photos that I take of the kids. Girl, Dad, that's a great shirt. That's a great one.
Doesn't your phone like already back up itself though, like to Google or something?
I don't know, but I don't trust that shit. I put it on a flash drive, so I have the pictures of my kids because I've talked to so many people and heard so many people over the years be like, "I've got this old broken phone, but it's got pictures of so and so, and it's got when."
Right.
Actually, we've got an old laptop in our closet that I'm going to fix that one day. It's got Alex's first step.
Got
Alex,
two in my garage.
Alex is 15 years old. Alex is 15 years old, and this video's got his first steps on it. And we just
Oh,
I want to get the video of his first steps.
you got to get that
That's the
out of
only
there.
thing that I want. So that's why I do that to my phone, is because I looked at that one day and I thought, man, I've been through like 3 phones
You
in
don't
the
need to.
past 10 years, and I need to back up these pictures more often.
Yeah.
Especially these ones.
So I started paying like $2 a month to Google to just like keep them all, and my
Oh,
wife
that's
has
cool.
got something that she does too. But like, and then she goes back and like very very frequently goes back and looks at our babies as they're like a
Oh
month old.
yeah. Yeah, look, this one was a meme that we made of I don't know if you can see the kids. You see the kids, the 2 boys?
Yeah, are
They're
they
little
playing a
bitty.
video game or
They're
something?
playing a video game standing outside, and the meme was we told the kids to go outside and play. So we told them to go outside
Oh,
and stand by the window and so we could make the little cute meme. But they look at a little they teeny. You don't see my kids every day, but they're like freaking
yeah.
men now.
Well,
All
Deacon,
right.
you don't care about people in Scottsdale, Arizona, because it's a desert, but you do
It's
care
not
about
that
flashes.
it's not that I don't care about them. It's
Hmm.
that I don't care
It's okay not to
about them.
care. Well,
I
I
care
mean,
about them as
like,
much as they care about me. Let me put it that way.
look, I'm just saying they need to do a little bit better job of publicity. If they want me to care, they have to get out there and do a story, push their story a little bit better than
You're gonna have to
holding up
show
this.
me a
I need, I need, I need
starving
more than
kid,
this.
a
Yeah,
puppy that is in distress because it
this,
doesn't have any. I need at least a puppy or a kid, a baby kid, and not a white
this
kid because I don't give 2 shits about white kids. I want a kid of
brown must be brown.
it's got to be some other color than white because
Uh-huh.
white kids. So if you want me to care about your
I
water
mean, at the very
problem,
least, you could do sunburned, right?
I
It's
need
Arizona.
colored. I need kids,
Yeah.
non-white children
Hmm.
in need of water, and puppies. That's what I need, and then I will care.
Or not starving. It's not starving. What is it whenever you don't have enough water?
Thirsty?
Dehydrated puppies.
Oh, yeah,
You want
yeah,
to see videos of
dehydrated
dehydrated.
puppies and children of color.
So what's not enough is this multicolor poster board that just says we need water. This is not selling your story enough.
No,
Look
I don't.
at you. Look how well off you are. You used two different colors of poster boards and stuck them together to make your sign. So that's not. I'm sorry. You need to. This is not good enough. We need a story that connects us to the connects us at our hearts.
Yeah, I need
Okay.
to be right, pulled at the heartstrings. You're exactly right.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. Well, you know, for instance, and this is not a good for instance, but I don't have any other way to get from here to there. We all know the story of Martin Luther King Jr., who, you know, peacefully protested. There he goes. He's left. Peacefully protested to to acquire civil rights for African Americans in America, and ultimately gave his life as an assassin, killed him. But
Did you
you
say
know, that's
peacefully
his story.
protested?
Didn't peacefully
Okay.
protested,
I
right?
was just
Peacefully
I didn't
protested.
hear what you said. I was just
Oh,
making sure you
yeah,
said
yeah.
that specific word. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
peacefully protested.
All
Like,
right.
you know, like they
I'm
did
good.
sit-ins and
I've read books and I've done a lot of
yeah,
research.
right.
So
But
you're
that's a story, you know, you can connect with that
right.
story as a man who's a father and a preacher, and then like was wronged, you know,
Okay.
and
Go on, please, before I open my mouth, please.
yeah,
When we
okay.
get our show
Before you say
taken off
something, you
the air
say
ever.
something absurd
So
about
just
Martin
go.
Luther King.
Yes. Please just go.
So here on the on right around Martin Luther King Day, it is so uh, appropriate that Boston unveil a statue in dedication to the man and his work. Uh, it is a statue called the Embrace, which is two arms connected by just phantom arm parts that are hugging one another.
You look at that embrace from another angle, and it looks like a male is embracing another part of his body, is what it looks like. And if you haven't,
yeah,
you need to look at that angle because it really looks like an embrace that I can almost guarantee every single male ever has at least tried, and some males
wow.
do succeed, from what I've heard.
Okay. Even some kin of Coretta Scott King hate the $10 million sculpture, just dedicated to her and her iconic civil rights leader husband in Boston, with a cousin claiming, and it looks like a penis.
It looks like a dude giving himself fellatio, is what it does.
the
It looks like a dude
the
giving
man.
himself fellatio.
Well, I haven't seen that part.
Well, yeah,
How does
you
it?
got to
I
look at
thought
it
it
from
just
the other
looked
angle.
like.
There it is, right there. I mean, it looks like a dude that's. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
you look at it from another
Okay.
angle, and it looks like his legs are sticking up, and he's got
Wow.
his head between his legs. Is what it looks like.
Okay, I thought it was just. I thought it was this part where with the two hands holding this like
No, but that
thing.
does kind of look like a giant
That's what I thought it was.
penis.
So this statue looks like a penis from multiple angles. Then, uh, I don't know. Is the artist that made this like trolling Boston or I'm not sure. The mainstream media was reporting on it like it was beautiful because they were told they had to
You
say
know,
that. Seneca Scott,
right? They were told they had
Coretta
to say
King's
that.
cousin, she said, told the Post by phone on Sunday, referring to the new artwork in the Boston comments. But then when it came out, a little boy pointed out, that's a penis. And
Right.
everybody was like, yo, that's a big old dong, man.
Right. It takes a kid to do it because kids are honest. You know, adults, like you just said, the news was told to say, "Oh, it's beautiful." And let me say this, okay? The
Mhm.
picture that this was based on,
Yeah.
wonderful picture of a man and a woman in their embrace, okay?
Yeah.
Wonderful
Yeah.
picture of a two human beings embracing each other.
Yeah.
So I can see you want to make a statue of a man and you want to use this picture of him and his love embracing each other. And that would be a great idea for a statue. Wouldn't you
Right.
think?
Yeah.
So the artist is like, I can't do the whole both.
That'd be too much material.
Let's just do the arms and I will even go as far as to say, okay, that is still a good idea for a sculpture of just
Sure.
from that down.
Yeah.
The result is not that.
Couldn't they have done a smaller statue that was the whole photo of them hugging?
I would have thought that they would have done if they were
Look
going
at
to
this
do
thing.
something
This
huge
thing is
like that. I
atrocious.
know, it looks so terrible. It looks
Boston, you
like
should be
some
so proud of yourselves.
weird, art. You're like, "What is that?" "Oh, that's the giant bean," or,
Yeah,
some weird art thing.
this is Boston's legacy, or Boston's a moment
And
in
I feel
civil
sorry
rights
for these
history.
and I feel sorry for
From
these people that are having to say, "Oh, I love it. I love it.
So
It's
beautiful.
beautiful. It's beautiful." JJ and I are not taking anything away from the meaningful,
Right.
the embrace. That like I said, that's a beautiful I would have done that's a beautiful idea. It was not executed correctly at all. And from I'll you know what? I'm not going to show it on the show, but I've got a
Uh-oh.
meme here that I'm going to post.
Oh,
And
is it?
it's
Yeah.
what I'm
Put the
talking
meme
about,
up.
and it's the
Is it?
meme, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you are in our Discord server, go over there right now. I'm going to put it in the memes channel. And if you're not, you need to join our Discord server. Why the hell aren't you
Yeah.
in our
Join our
Discord server?
Discord server.
You go over there and
These
look at the
guys
memes
love
channel.
to put memes in the meme channel.
I put them in there all the time.
They're all. That's.
Did you see the Jamie Lee Curtis quote that I put in there
I
last
see
night?
it now.
Yeah, isn't that funny? She said that a while ago. Okay, I'm gonna put the hang on. Here it
Oh,
is.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Taking me forever, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll put it on the desktop.
I figured you were doing the one where he's like, oh, that's a. I thought it was that's a penis, but I think it's that's a man. Okay. Well, anyway, so
Here it is. If it'll.
now I mean, I like Martin Luther King Jr. I think what he did was tremendous. Oh wow, I did not think it was going to be that. Thank you for not putting that on the show.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that on the show.
That is.
Don't it look like that though?
I mean, it's that's very convincing. That is, wow. That's okay.
And let me tell
Somebody
you,
somebody drew that.
go back to you already shut the story down. The picture of the picture of the thing where it looks like a heart.
Yeah.
So if you'll just go back to that picture.
Here.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So this angle that I just posted is like up to the left. It would be up here.
Mm-hmm.
Over here taking the picture.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I don't need to visualize it any further than it already is.
So if you were to go 360, no.
Oh wow, Zuby, they got a Zuby tweet in here. The 65,000-ton statue was approved by the couple's son, Martin Luther King the third, and cost $10 million to produce. $10 million.
Yeah, $10 million.
$10 million.
Yeah, 10
wow. It unveiled in Boston last week. Boston Globe via Getty Images. Online critics were harsh too, including some who agreed that the work was pornographic. This is awful. The British rapper and podcaster Zuby added in a tweet. So,
have you ever read any? Never mind. I'm not.
Hold on. This just got even more fascinating to me. Seneca's grandfather Seneca is the cousin of Martin Luther King, I think. Seneca's grandfather was one of 25 children of Jeff Scott. 25.
People had kids back then. My mother had 11 brothers and sisters. It wasn't not.
Yeah, my grandfather had 8 brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it was not
25
uncommon.
though. Wow.
And now we have 1 and 2.
Yeah. Or fewer, as fertility rates are declining.
There's a whole theory about religious theory and population that it's pretty interesting about that, where it talks about Christians used to have X number of kids, and now we have X number of kids, and Muslims always have had an exact number of kids, and they still have the same number of kids today. So the Christian population is completely dwindling down, and the Muslim population is skyrocketing, and it's interesting.
It might be related to religion, but it's probably more related to like agricultural
Probably, yeah.
and post-agricultural post-industrial
This was all
societies.
about religion that I was listening to.
Right.
All right, what else we got for today? I'm done talking about
I
all
mean,
this
I
other
really
mess.
thought that was gonna
Take
carry us
longer?
for a while. Yeah, a little bit. But I got a couple of holdovers. Let's see. Let's see how interested you are in this. Not only do we have Martin Luther King and honoring Martin Luther King Jr. in
I'm so
today's
glad
show.
that we're honoring Martin Luther King Jr. in today's
Yeah,
show.
so great. We can also honor King David. Written records of biblical King David discovered by researchers.
That's cool.
This is yeah, it's pretty cool. This was the steel. How do you say this? Stelee. That's I think it's steel, but maybe it's steel. I don't know. Whatever
Steel?
this thing was, it was discovered in fragments in 1868, roughly 15 miles east of the Dead Sea, and currently resides in the Louvre Museum in Paris. The Mesha stone, also called the Moabite stone, is a basalt stone slab that has provided historians and linguists with the largest source of the Moabite language today. Researchers have only now been able to verify with a considerable degree of certainty that the stele, I have to say this a certain way. I don't know how to say it. Stele contains explicit references to King David. So they'd found this thing 150 years ago, and just now they're like, oh, that seems King David. That's talking to something about King David. The slab is, let's see. While it was damaged in 1869, a paper mache impression of the inscription was captured before the damage occurred. So somebody dropped this thing or something. Oh wow, how bad would you feel if your job was to be like, Jeremy's saying it's stele. It seems Mr. E has the impression that the Martin Luther King statue looks like a big old poo poo, and from the air, it does look like a big old dookie doo. Hey, what are you chewing on over there? So sometime back in 1869, somebody was doing their job and was like carrying this heavy stone, and whoops, it slipped and and it broke this. It broke this thing.
They broke what?
Anyway, this stele, this back, it was 1869. So somebody was doing their job, and then like whoops, this slipped and they dropped it and they broke it. But before that, they got one of those. They took a piece of paper and they made an impression of the engravings. The slab is etched with a lengthy account of King Mesha of Moab going to war with Israel. The events described correspond imprecisely with the accounts of 2 Kings chapter 3. The text contains allusions to the Israelite God, as well as the house of David and the altar of David. However, until today, scholars could not be entirely sure that these were references to King David were being accurately deciphered. So there's more, but I don't want to get you bored.
I'm not. I this is actually not nothing that I'm bored about. What I have a hard time. I've always had a hard time with this. I have a hard time following someone reading verbatim.
Sure. Okay.
It's very hard for me to follow along when you do that and you read verbatim, because I don't read verbatim like that all the time, and so it's just very tough for me to follow with you. And I really can't like see the way my screen.
Yeah, it is pretty blurry.
I guess if I enlarged my screen, I never thought about that. I can actually read your screen now.
Like that.
And I'm a pretty quick reader. So that's me and Ashley had this conversation one day when our children were learning to read. This was the conversation we had about that. I hate listening to other people read. I hate it. Like, I can't do it. Unless you are the smoothest reader in the world and a professional reader, I can't listen to you read. And when the children were starting to read, they're like, we walked down the aisle, and I'm trying to be patient, and whatnot, but I read over the air professionally.
Yeah.
I'm paid to read, and it drives me nuts. So it's really hard for me to, and
You guys are
you don't do a bad job at all. It's just I have a hard time
you guys
following
are
along with someone
you
when
guys are witnessing Deacon trapped in an awful hell.
my hell. It's my crazy brain. This is why you're like, Deacon is not right. You're exactly right. Deacon is
I
not
committed to this show with JJ
right.
because he's my friend and we have fun. But every single day,
Every
if I'm
day
not throwing up or
reading me
something's
news stories,
burning, I
and
have to
he
listen to him
thinks
talk.
he thinks that I am he thinks that I'm not listening because I'm always doing this or I'm doing this over here
Pulling
doing
the
this,
cans
but
off your head.
I'm
Oh
no,
my
I'll
god.
do this sometimes. I'll shit around the radio station, but I'm paying attention
Ah,
to you. That is another thing that drove
hilarious.
Ashley crazy when we first met is that I don't like to look people in the eye.
This is the
And I
best.
always said, if I'm not looking at you and you're talking, I'm listening intently to you. So sorry. No, I'm
Uh,
sorry if I look like I'm not interested. This
no.
one is the most interesting one to me that we've talked
Oh,
about so far today.
okay. This is more interesting than than the penis statue.
Anything that we've talked about today is all I'm going to say. This is more interesting to
So
me.
this statue, which we've had around for 150 years, and some dipshit dropped on the ground and broke into a bunch of
I know.
pieces,
What the hell? Now that we have
confirms
technology,
or
that we have
is
LiDAR and shit like that.
is substantiated substantiates the story of Second Kings. So it's independent corresponding story that reinforces Second Kings
So
chapter 3.
so this is something that we have found that
Right.
reinforces something that the Christian Bible had been saying for almost 2,000 years.
Or I guess longer. I don't know how long Second
Bible
Kings
hadn't
have
been
been
around
around.
for
Yeah.
2,000 years.
No, but
It
the
was written
Second
after.
Kings has.
Oh, well,
Same
I guess
thing.
you're right. I guess the Second King
Second
story. Yeah,
Kings
you're
has been
exactly
around
right.
for like
Yeah, it was
probably
before
like
that. Yeah.
it's probably
So
like
it
another 500 or another
but
1,000 before that.
have you ever I have. Have you ever looked into other things that we have discovered in the past 25 years that has corroborated something that was written in the Bible? There has been a bunch of different things that we have found. There was one particular one that we found in astronomy, and it was something in the Bible that
Mm.
it's talking about. I don't remember. God said
Are you
something.
talking about when the stars stop? The moon, the sun stops moving in the sky.
No, it was something else. It was about
Mm.
yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But
Yeah, I don't know.
there's a lot of interesting
We don't
stuff
know what we're
that I know we
talking
don't know what
about.
we're talking about. But there's just a lot of
Look,
interesting stuff that we have
I
found in
live a
the past
I
like
live a
20, 30
relatively
years.
simple life. I believe in God. I think I acknowledge like the world seems old. The stars are magnificent. This place is incredible. And at the same time, I was just thinking this morning while I was taking a shower, I was like, I know some people just think that this is all evolution and chance and stuff, but like look around you, look around, everything is so orderly, even in our kind of disorganized chaos. We are a species that's able to produce all kinds of stuff and move from like very primitive systems to become advanced very stuff, but just the leap from like from animals to the simplest, least equipped, least informed human is magnificent. It's incredible. We're so capable of overcoming our circumstances, and and I just think I have to choose to believe in God. I just do. Like it's one, it's easier. Otherwise, I mean, what's your alternative? The alternative is like, oh, I just think the universe collided all these particles, just kind of like booped together, and like, oh, now we exist. And as soon as I'm dead, I don't exist anymore. Oh, okay, you can believe that if you want to. So I choose to believe in God. Or
Do you
maybe it was maybe it's written that I chose. Maybe I didn't choose. Maybe it's part of my software. I don't know.
This is what I said to somebody that was talking about what you just said. They don't believe that we do anything, when we die.
Oh
Do you,
yeah, yeah,
do you
obliterated.
believe that we have energy in our body? Do you believe that like electrical signals are passing through our
Oh,
brain and stuff like
I mean,
that?
I
Our heart
definitely
has
think that we
electrical
have
signals and we have
mechanical
energy.
bioelectrical, like, synapses firing information.
Energy.
Dude, just
I'm
think
asking
about the
just
fact that
energy.
you can
Do you think
remember
we have
things.
energy in our body? Do you think our
I
body is
mean,
made up, at least of some point, of some sort of
I
energy?
think you're being more like metaphysical, right? I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm not
That's
sure.
a simple
I don't.
question.
The answer is I'm not sure. We definitely have energy. We convert fuel into
Okay,
heat,
yes, we have
and
energy in our body.
right,
That's a
yeah,
simple question.
okay,
That's a,
okay,
that
okay,
was the
okay.
easiest question out of all these, AJ. You're supposed to say yes.
Hi,
A
hi. You've
3-year-old
met me,
knows that.
right?
Do you have energy in your body? Yes, we have energy in our body. Yes, our body is made up of energy, right? I mean,
Right.
you really
Okay.
started to blow my mind here by saying, I don't know. Really? You don't? I mean,
Well,
am I
I thought you meant
going crazy
I thought you
here?
meant might mean some like hippie, like, astral something.
No, I'm trying to get to a point that I said to this
Okay.
atheist one time who
Oh,
said
okay,
this.
okay.
I said, do you have energy in your body? Is your body made up of any kind of energy? Yes, your body's made up of some sort of energy. Okay, whatever.
Okay,
Electricity,
okay.
lightning, fucking magical
See?
elf energy, whatever you want to call it. It's energy. You got energy in your body. Okay. What is one of the first laws of physics that we all agree is one of the first laws of physics?
Right. Yeah.
Energy
It's
cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change
right.
form. All right.
Right.
So kinetic energy, boom, just like that. The energy is dispersed through my hand, goes down through. It's not destroyed. The energy that my hand.
Okay, yes.
Okay, you understand. Our body's creative energy. When our body dies, your scientific atheism physics say that energy cannot be created and destroyed. And you agree that our body's made up of energy. So where does the energy go? That is the question. And that is the
Right.
question Christians ask. And Christians, we don't call it energy. We call it a soul. So you call it energy, we call it a soul. So when our body dies, the soul energy does not
Yeah.
die. It changes forms and goes somewhere else. So according to our understanding of physics, energy cannot be destroyed,
Right.
only changes form.
That
And they agree that our bodies are made up of energy. And I always said Christians don't call it energy. We have a different word for it. We call it a soul. And our soul doesn't change. Our soul doesn't die. It changes forms. And that's how I've always, and that's how I accept it. You might not want to
right.
accept it that way, but that's how I explained it to this atheist. I was talking to this atheist at Murray State University one night, and he was talking about he was
Yeah.
pre-med and atheist. And I was like, how are
Honestly,
you
atheists are
pre-med? And
so irritating, dude. It's like they have to convince you that nothing
I know that's
exists.
what we were talking about. I was like, you're pre-med and an atheist.
Why
I was
are
like,
you?
do you understand how the freaking nervous system and the body works? And he was like, yeah. I was like, how can you not believe that there is some sort of higher power? You don't have to believe in Yahweh, but you can believe in
Yeah.
something.
How
You know?
about just the fact that your cells in your brain arrange themselves so that you can have memories?
Have you
You're
seen the little
constantly just
cells that
writing memories into
the
your brain.
stem cells or whatever that they put in the petri dish or whatnot, and they grew it and whatnot, and all of a sudden the freaking stem cells had grown ocular fucking cells, and there's two little
Yeah.
eyeballs growing from this little blob that
That
they
sounds
grew.
horrible.
It sounds horrific, but it's totally true.
That's
right.
awful.
Let's talk about what else you want to talk about? Snap.
I
How
haven't
many
played
of
Snap
our
in a few
do,
days.
do
I've
our
been
do,
working.
do, I don't know. Do any of our people don't play Snap? Do they?
I think Mr. E said he was just like he looked at it, but he just can't get into another card game. And I don't know what my brother does. I think my brother mostly plays board games. So
the D&D stuff is blowing up all over the place. I haven't been putting any stories in our because I know
why
nobody.
not? I have
shit.
this thing I got to pull up. I got a
I
graphic.
know that's the only reason is because you got a graphic, but I know nobody.
Well,
Gets
that's my
graphic.
reason.
It's
Your
very
reason is that
interesting.
you like to talk about it.
I was reading some stuff last night about Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro stockholders, and
Uh-oh.
the story is that basically the Wizards of the Coast people were wanting to break away from Hasbro and have all their own control over their own stuff. And I think these mouthpieces in Hasbro were basically like, absolutely not. We control this and we're going to show you what we can do. And we're going to control all this. And so that is when the Hasbro people that have never couldn't tell you what a D20 is, you know, they said that we're going to start charging for this service monthly, like $30 a month. We're going to charge you for this. We're going to do this. We're going to restrict this. We're going to start stealing all of your home created stuff. Where if you make money on the home created stuff over X amount, we're going to take blah, blah, blah. You know, you can't
Okay.
do this. They went nuts on the community, and the community has
Oh, yes.
revolted so hard on Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons. They're revolting so hard right now on Dungeons and Dragons that subscriptions for D&D Beyond, which is their subscription program right now that they were fixing to start charging enormous amounts of money for,
Yeah.
subscriptions have completely they have had so many people unsubscribe that they took the unsubscribe button off the fucking website, and now to
Whoa.
unsubscribe you have to call them or contact them and have customer service do it for you instead of you being able to do it, because so many people were doing it. So their stockholders are freaking the freak out right now because they're going to lose all this money. People, D&D players have revolted to the point that they have bought out these other systems from these places. You can't find a Pathfinder rule book anywhere right now. You probably can, but a lot of places are sold out for these Pathfinder rule books and these other role-playing games besides Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, wow. So they're like
So
not only canceling
they're
their
not only
accounts,
canceling their
they're
D&D
like
Beyond, they're
they're
saying,
dumping
"Fuck
money
you,
into the
Dungeons& and
competition.
Dragons. We're gonna give money to your competition." And the big thing right now is they're saying, what did I freaking I didn't say it because of this, but what did I say 2 weeks ago? Right now they're coming out and saying, "Let's boycott this movie because it's nothing but a fucking cash grab."
Oh,
And what
man.
did I say 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago? I said, this movie, the more I thought about it, the more this movie is nothing but a fucking cash grab. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what they're saying. They're saying this movie, Hasbro's putting out this movie. They have promised, they have put so many millions of dollars into this movie, and they've promised that this is going to make bank for them. And if we show them that they're not going to do shit for this movie, then Wizards of the Coast might be able to break away from Hasbro and get away from Hasbro, because Hasbro is the ones that are screwing up everything. Hasbro had started making all these money on the Transformer films and all this bullshit, and they think that they've got what was
Well,
said.
no,
What was said
they have
somewhere else.
to. Once you start making huge revenues like that, you got to keep that up. You
Well,
can't
what
just
was said
like,
not too long ago where I read was that Hasbro didn't realize, but it came out that 70% of their profits came from Wizards of the Coast, who owns Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons,
right.
and whatever else. But 70% of Hasbro's revenue came from Wizards of the Coast. And that's when Wizards was like, "Hey, I think we need to be by ourselves over here." And they're like,
Yeah,
"No,
that's not going to
no,
happen though.
no, no.
They're
We
never going
can
to let
do."
go of that.
So they started milking their cash cow. We're going to charge
Yeah.
these fucking geeks and nerds this and this and this and this and steal from them. I've been creating for D&D for 30 years for free, man. If I would have sold this shit for 30 years now, I could probably have a nice little business going like some of these people do, but I give away my stuff for free.
Wow. That I mean, they're never going to let go of this company like that. The only reason to let go is if it's like unprofitable, and then it's a drain on your books, and then you'd spin it off to its own thing. So as long as it's making money, they're never letting go. And
We have to show
and
them. We have to
Hasbro, you're
show them
right.
it's not
Hasbro,
making
they
money.
they licensed out their Transformers to make Transformers movies, and then that made like what $1 billion over like 10 years. They have, once you're in a business like that where you have revenues like that and then corollary expenses, you got to keep your revenues up, and so they got to find something else that they can squeeze from the stone.
But
So,
this is what
and that movie looks fun. I don't want to cross these two things where like, yeah, they're being giant dicks, but that Chris Pine movie looks kind of fun. I would want to
it
watch
does
it.
look kind of
And
fun. And it does. And this is another thing that I'm having a hard time kind of with everybody boycotting and getting so crazy. I'm not crazy mad over this at all. I just kind of been
no,
reading and kind of interested in it because it's not going to affect me at all. And it's affecting a lot of these content creators. So that's why you're hearing so
right.
much. That's why you're hearing so much flack over it, is because it's directly affecting them. Me and you can go out to our local game store or go on Amazon or whatever
Yeah,
and buy the second edition D&D books that were released
yeah.
in the 80s. That system is not even played anymore, and we could roll up our characters, learn, teach you that system, and have a freaking fabulous
I
fun
think
time.
we have.
And
Come
we
here, come
don't
here. I
have
want to
to
show.
be subscribed
Mom's at the
to
gym, just like she is every single morning. Every single morning, you come and ask, and she's at the gym. So come here.
Is mommy
Come
gonna
here.
have breakfast?
Look at
with
these
us?
braids. She
Mom-
wanted braids yesterday.
those are awesome.
Show off your braids.
I want braids. Can I have
Yeah.
some? Ask her if I can have some.
It's my
Can Deacon have braids? Do you think Deacon can have braids?
no.
Please.
Why can't Deacon have braids?
Because he has short hair.
Short hair. Does
Oh,
he have short hair? That's so generous of you. Look. Oh. But look, Deacon's got a dapper cap. Doesn't he look dapper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Daddy can't do that. Hats look funny on your dad's head. I actually think my brother had, maybe my brother still has it. I don't know. But at one time I had a whole box of of D&D books from literally like the 1980s.
oh,
I don't
really?
know if yeah. Like they're
Yeah, I
super
might buy
old.
those from you.
I don't
Seriously,
know where they're at.
I've looked
My
into
brother might have them.
rebuying all of my books that I got rid of over the years, and thanks to Stranger Things several years ago, that's increased the prices of all these fucking old books
Yeah.
dramatically.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
shouldn't-
because she can't hear.
okay,
So
good.
now they have premium prices because they're vintage.
Mhm, mhm. And I could get those books for $5, $7, $10 a piece. You know,
You were talking the other day about D&D maybe becoming like a TV show. I don't know if didn't you say something about that? It's not only a movie, but didn't you say they're gonna work on a TV show?
I don't know. They should.
Oh,
It would be
because I think
good as a TV show. You don't need, it doesn't follow a specific story. I mean, some there are some
right.
specific stories, but me and you could come up with a story. It's like this movie.
So
This movie doesn't follow any story. This
I
is some
feel like
guy's story.
Drawing something.
you want to draw on something here. Here's a pen. There you go. Have at it. So I feel like not on me, draw on the paper. So I feel like something that could be cool, because I always liked the D&D cartoon in the 1980s. I always thought that was cool, and
Why don't they do the live action of that D&D cartoon nowadays?
or
With computer-generated
something
effects?
where so the cool conceit of that was like in the real world they were playing and they went into like a roller coaster or something, and then they ended up in the D&D land.
Yeah.
So why couldn't there be a show that had the kind of conceit where like in the real world kids are playing the game, but then the TV show falls into the story that they're telling in their
Story, what
heads,
they're doing?
and it
Yeah,
can
that would be
change
great.
every
Yeah.
episode can be
Yeah.
different, or every season could be different. I think that would be kind of neat. It doesn't have to be D&D either. Somebody else could take that idea and be like, oh, we're going to adapt a Pathfinder series or whatever.
It could just be tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies have been
And-
playing the D&D world in Forgotten Realms for 5 years now, and we haven't picked it back up. We're almost done. We just haven't picked that back up because we're all busy. And we were all talking what we want to do after this, and we're kind of done with the fantasy. We're kind of
Yeah?
that for a while, so we were kind of
Okay. What about Shadowrun?
Shadowrun's great. I had the Shadowrun books, man. Absolutely. Shadowrun was great.
I played Shadowrun on Sega Genesis like a bajillion years ago, and I loved it. I actually have it on my phone. I think it's
I
fun.
carried
Yeah, I
around
know.
that Shadowrun role-playing game book a year before that freaking game on Sega Genesis came out, because when it came out on Sega Genesis, I was like, oh my God, they made a video game of Shadowrun, because we played Shadowrun all the
Right.
time.
So I feel like that is a property that has been attempted to be turned into something larger many times, and it never really catches on. It doesn't
No, I don't
exactly.
know why.
No.
I don't know why. I
No.
don't know if it's at the wrong point in time. But you're
Yeah,
right. It's Shadowrun was always so flipping
it's like so
interesting.
close, and then it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, it
every
just
single
doesn't
time.
quite make it. Let me show you another one.
Can you draw Deacon?
Let me show you another one here that was a really great role-playing game. And anybody out there that would want to actually get this.
Oh, Riffs.
Riffs. Man.
I've seen that book many times.
That's what I carried that book around everywhere too, man. That really was a really good game. Oh crap, hang on.
Yeah, he's got to be on the radio.
Oops, had the wrong button hit. Okay.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, this one is a I don't even remember the storyline of it. I remember all these cybernetic freaking machines, and it had these these portals to these other lands and these alien it was so cool. So cool. I'd like to find that book again.
Well, when you're ready, like Brian has said, he's down to. Like, I think Brian is like me. He's a novice.
Yeah, and it'd be so difficult.
But it doesn't have to be D&D. Maybe we could do like some other thing.
Yeah, I've thought about it a couple of times how I would do that.
I don't know. Star Wars Edge of Empire, play that. Have you ever played a Star Wars RPG?
We've played Star Wars RPGs for a long time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, it's Deacon here. Let's show Deacon the picture of Deacon. There you go. That's a picture of Deacon.
That's awesome.
Why does Deacon have horns on his head? What is that? Is that a tail?
Yeah.
No, it's a hand.
Oh, that's a hand. Okay.
It's a hand.
Oh, okay.
I just draw it with.
Can you draw his microphone? You see he has a microphone right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can draw his microphone.
I can do it.
That's awesome.
It's a black thing.
Yeah.
You have a microphone and Deacon has one.
That's true. That's so we can hear you. It's not for you to touch. All right. Well, today's episode is...
Look at Deacon's microphone.
Oh, good job. That's in the microphone. I don't know. I don't think we got anything really left. I mean, I don't know. You could find some more stuff. I think I had...
Hang on. I'm sitting here. I was reading. It's all about scoundrels, smugglers, and mercenaries. I was reading here. Why is he doing this to sales?
I think I have my pen.
Oh no, your pen.
The open gaming the new open gaming license, from what I've understood, did not come from WotC. It was initially said that it was coming from WotC, but as all this information is coming out, everything that I was reading yesterday and last night was basically that this all Hasbro's. It's some up and yeah, I've been keeping up with this every single freaking day. I read all kinds of stuff from all these D&D people that I follow, and there's some of them that are trying to lead the march doing some of this stuff. Jenny D and the Dungeon Dudes are kind of staying back. Critical Role just kind of stayed back and didn't say anything for a while.
They haven't taken a position yet. They're waiting waiting to see how it shakes out. Maybe
I knew they wasn't going to take a position because they're all professionals and they all work in the voice acting industry, and they don't want to piss off anybody. You don't want to piss off anybody in any kind of higher amounts, because you never know who knows who's cousin and who's brother. So I think what Mercer and all them are doing is very smart, and they're getting some hell. Some people on Twitter are giving them hell. Why they haven't said anything yet? Look at them, and they're a bunch of shills and blah blah blah. But we've been called shills 1,000 freaking times. So I understand, and I understand them not saying anything. I wouldn't say anything either.
Well, what happens if when they do take a stand, and then Hasbro, okay, stop please, and then WotC or Hasbro or whatever kind of makes good with the community. Now the creators are left holding the bag of like, oh, you guys were out there making public statements, and that gets cycled in the news. So they got to be okay. Here you go. If you're gonna sit here, you gotta be a little bit quiet. Okay. I got one more story. One more story of a regular topic that we cover, and
Show me my
we
picture.
just, huh?
Show me my
Oh yeah,
picture.
he wants to see his picture. Can you hold your picture up? Hold it up right there. See where? Here, I'll hold it for you. Look at that. Look at that.
Awesome.
Deacon, there's your microphone, and what is that? A house or something? What's next to him? What's this? What's
Spaceship.
this? Spaceship.
No, it's a house for him.
It's a house. It's his house. Let's cover this and then we'll be done for the day, okay? But anytime this guy pops up in the news, I feel like it's just because he could marry a spider queen and cause the apocalypse. And I just want to keep my finger on the pulse of Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller
You
has
got a crush
dodged.
on that guy, man.
Ezra Miller dodges jail time, accepts plea deal in the Vermont burglary case.
Why do you like this guy so much?
Because he's still the Flash. He's still the Flash. They haven't fired him. I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't fired this crazy person.
Do you like his hair? What is it about him?
No.
Is he dreaming?
He's the Flash. He's the Flash, and he started a little cult. He started a little cult with this girl, kidnapped her and her kid, and they had him on like brainwashing him, and I don't know. So in the case where he decided he needed some wine, I guess it was, he busted into some Vermont residents and took some alcohol. Well, he has now pleaded guilty, but he's a Hollywood starlet, so he doesn't go to jail because that's the way the world works.
Yeah,
you got Warner Brothers backing you up, being like, "Don't put this guy in jail. We got a Flash movie coming up soon."
Don't you know the scales of justice are weighed down with gold on one side?
All right. So I don't know. This guy's not been in the news very much, and that just makes me think that Warner Brothers has a PR rep literally with a rope around his neck being like, "Stay out of the news. Stay out of the news." I think he's on a leash right now. Okay. That's all I got. I just wanted to mention that Ezra Miller is better than us. If you broke into somebody's house and stole a bottle of wine, you'd be in jail.
Every time you mention this dude, I think of the band from the 90s, Better Than Ezra. And I want to go with some of their songs. They are. It's really good.
Okay. Well, we had like 10 people watching, and then they left. So I guess that's it. That's it for the day.
Why are you watching your show?
Yeah, I am grateful. Deacon is confused. Deacon's like, why?
JJ wants you to watch us. I'm
absolutely
pondering what the hell you not have to do in your life better than to sit here.
Why are you guys up this early?
Deacon, like, why?
Deacon, like, why? Can you tell everybody to watch Deacon on Your Two Dads? Can you say watch Deacon? Watch Deacon show? You can't even
watch Deacon on Two Dads.
All right, that's it. Bye, everybody. Like and subscribe.